Now is the time to figure out what we're going to do for next calendar year. It's that time of year when we're looking at our financial statements and we're trying to figure out where we want to go for the next year. Making that decision this time next year is going to be way too late. Once you set your goal for the following year, it's easy to start getting excited about what the potential is, where you can really go, where you can see if you can beat your previous year's milestones. This time of year, I like to look at my financial statements, particularly in comparison to the year before and the last 5 years or 10 years, as much as I have in my QuickBooks, and see how I've progressed over time. How much has my income gone up? How much of my expenses gone down? And that makes it much easier to set the goals for next year. And when I set the goals, I always like to make a ridiculous goal. But in the back of my mind, I have something that's more realistic. But the ridiculous goal is what's so energizing. It's so much fun to think about doing that ridiculously high income level or ridiculously low expenses. Or maybe the goal is to get out of snowy Ottawa in the winter and work someplace really warm for 3 or 4 months of the year. That's pretty ridiculous too when you get right down to it. But it's an interesting goal, and it gets me thinking and gets me fired up and energized about the year ahead and what I'm capable of and where the most fun will be, because fun is a key value for me. There are a couple of ways to measure your progress and figure out how well you're doing. On your income statement, you can do the comparison and see how well you're doing compared to last year. That's the main thing. If you have a bookkeeper, make sure your bookkeeper keeps your books up to date. It's not very useful if your expenses are not included, as well as your income. Another measure of progress is how stressed out are you? Are you as stressed out this year as you were last year at this time? If your stress levels are better, then you know you're doing much better. Normally we say don't look back, just keep moving forward towards your goal. But sometimes it's beneficial because looking back gives you that spurt to make you move faster and get to the goal. Some common financial goals, the most common, is to increase revenue. Increasing revenue might result in increasing expenses depending on the nature of your business. So really, the goal should be increasing profitability, making that gap between income and expenses bigger and bigger and bigger. And then after doing that with your business, the next question is growing your business. And if you're growing your business, what will be the expenses involved in that? And offset those against the income potential for growing your business. If you have a large debt load, whether you reduce that debt depends on the nature of your business, the nature of the debt, the nature of the interest rate you're paying. If it's credit card debt, you're probably paying a huge amount of interest and you want to get that down. If it's a line of credit that you're paying prime plus one or prime plus a half, it's less important to focus on it as getting rid of it. Be careful if your goal is just to improve profitability, that you are not cutting expenses so drastically that you affect your business, generally speaking. If you cut staff and therefore have no staff to create good service, it's probably not a good way to reduce your expenses. Sometimes what it takes is having an accountability partner to make you stay focused with your goals and make sure you stay on track with what you want to accomplish in your business. An accountability partner can be your business partner, can be your spouse, can be your best friend, but do those people really understand where you're coming from? What I use is a mastermind group where we all get together, we share our successes, we share our concerns of the day or the week, and focus on how we can achieve our goals more effectively and efficiently. And just by virtue of the fact that you said it out loud to a group of your peers, all of whom have your best interest at heart, means that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, or you're going to have a good reason why you didn't. Just that saying it out loud means that the group will keep you accountable. And that's very powerful. You don't want to disappoint the other people in the group. You don't want them to think badly of you. Whatever your mindset is, it doesn't matter. It works, especially if you struggle with self-discipline and procrastination. If you're interested in seeing what a mastermind is all about, I have a sneak peek that I run every month, and you can come. It takes an hour. You can be the person in the hot seat where you can share your question, and the people in the room will give you their best advice based on what you've told them. And it can be a very, very powerful experience. It's free, and if it interests you at all, I recommend that you click on the link below and join me.